Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Russell Findlay, the Scottish Tory leader, has decided that enough's enough. When it comes to the protection of children, there needs to be stiffer sentences. And he means very, very much stiffer sentences. He's calling for those low-life degenerate scum that harm children, that abuse them, to be given mandatory life sentences as he's blasting the SNP's soft justice system. Which is right, we've seen some terribly lax, well, you barely call them punishments for some very heinous crimes often. But he is going to launch a new justice paper. He wants all party support. He says this is not a party political issue, this is a humanity issue, and he's hoping that all parties get behind it on the principle that those who do terrible things should face terrible punishment, really. Now, he's accusing the SNP of weakening Scottish justice systems, and we've seen this. He's accusing them of betraying the families and the victims of the the victims and the families of the victims. And he's setting out his plans to strengthen the courts and to make the punishment fit the crime, as Gilbert and Sullivan would have put it. The main policy, of course, is this mandatory life sentence to child rapists, ensuring that they're kept off the streets for decades. I would suggest life meaning life for such people. Since they've abolished the death penalty, we have to do the next best thing, which is to ensure they're never ever in a position to harm children again. I would actually go honestly, I would go with a full castration route myself, but that's just me and I don't get a say in this. But at least there'd be no recidivism. But under the Scottish National Party's current government guidelines, these very loose, lax and frankly appallingly bad sentences have been handed out, which includes, especially for those aged 25 and younger, because say 25 and younger, you're not fully aware of your actions. This is strange considering they say that 8-year-olds also should be able to make life-changing decisions such as gender surgery. Weird, isn't it? Playing it both ways. But this is what happens when you have these joke of a party. I mean, the case of the 23-year-old rape a child and gets given litter picking duty because he's under 25. No, that's not good enough. And of course, prosecutors in Scotland are using an increased, or at least they're increasingly using, the diversion from prosecution. In other words, just admit you're sorry, pay a little fine, have a slap, and you're looking to avoid having a criminal record completely. Have a little bit of social work, a little bit of therapy, and then, hopefully you won't do it again. This is no deterrent, is it? Do something, go and spend half an hour with a social worker, go and listen to a psychiatrist for 20 minutes, and away you go. And you could have done something pretty nasty. So I'm actually with this plan. I think it's absolutely there. They're saying they want to tighten the bail laws to help prevent crimes being committed by those on bail. I agree with that, particularly for violent criminals or anyone that's done harm. Mandatory life sentences for child rapists, indeed. Ensuring regular police patrols on our streets, agreed. Tougher punishment for antisocial behaviour. And I agree with this one because often it's the antisocial behaviour, which is the little stuff when people are young, which leads them on to doing worse and worse things later on. And especially for carrying knives and knife crime. Seizing drug dealers' dirty money by changing there's the Proceeds of Crime Act to change that. So you're not just taking the money that they've made through the drug dealing, but you take the money that they've made in total. So you take every penny off them because you can't separate what they've made through illegal means and legal means. So you take it all off and let them go. Or not let them go, punish them, but then when they're done. But they're not coming back out with wealth that's been accrued previously, that's been sort of hidden and, taken away, such as buying a house or something. Fair enough. And they want to support victims of crime with the new Victims' Rights Act. Fine. The problem with Scotland is these lax laws, and they're not being utilised to the full because, well, they haven't got enough prisons. And more than that, I've got a story that's going out on my other channel, Silver Fox Scotland, addressing that very prison issue, which is a joke. So do keep an eye on that one. It'll probably go out tomorrow. It may go out tonight. I don't know, but it'll go out at some point. So do keep an eye on that. And if you're not aware of my other channel, Silver Fox Scotland, go across there, subscribe on that, and that's Scotland-centric news exclusively. So there we go. Anyway, let me know what you think. Is it a good idea? I think it is, but what the hell? But let me know what you think. Thanks a lot. Bye.